and welcome back to the podcast. Episode number
I'm fine
5,
here.
week 5. Major spoilers ahead. Just before we even get into introductions, I am Tom. You find me on Twitter at tsteinman13. I'm also joined by Chris
Hi, I'm Chris Baxter, and you can get me on Twitter at bag1982.
and also Zach.
Zach Krieger. I not yet made a Twitter.
You'll be there.
Oh yeah, eventually.
Hell yeah. I mean, hey, that's all we need.
Oh.
All right. So yeah, as we just said, there will be major spoilers for all of WandaVision and especially this episode, including the very end. So if you haven't seen it yet, now's your chance.
Yeah, go and see it, and then come back
Yeah.
because there's big spoilers in this one.
Mm-hmm. I think everyone's been properly warned. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If they'll exit by now.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll hope so. All right. Well, I'm not gonna lie. Starting this episode back off in Westview, that kind of shocked me. I thought we were gonna start at where we ended up. I think it was 10 minutes later, actually seeing Monica, and we joined Westview later on.
Yeah,
I actually didn't think we were gonna see outside of Westview at all this episode.
Oh.
I thought they were gonna one episode outside, one episode back in, the next episode outside, but this one happened.
Yeah.
yeah. We talked about it in the last podcast of what we might see, and I think we actually talked about it being half and half. Which, to be honest, a bit like what you just said there, Zach. I did think, oh, they might just do back in and then back out afterwards, and I'm glad they didn't. I think it worked really well, and I think probably going forward, it'll probably stick with this sort of half and half. Well, not necessarily half and half, but seeing what's happening inside and then what's happening outside. And I hope they stick with that because it worked. I wasn't quite sure what to expect. I was expecting not as good an episode. I'll be honest with you, because given what happened last week, I thought, oh, we might have another, just a little bit, which usually happens in programs or series like this, where you build up and then you get a good episode and then it seems to drop, and you're not normally as bothered because you've had such a good episode and it might build up again. But this has just kept going and going, and I thought this episode was absolutely amazing. It just built it up even better than last week.
Oh yeah.
Like I was saying last night in the chat, first couple episodes I was kind of meh, still enjoying it, but wow, Marvel's back. Well, like MCU's back.
Oh yeah. And
Real big.
with the MCU being back, and me putting on my thinking cap, and I guess I'll stick for the first little bit of the scene, I'm still convinced that Agnes is Agatha Harkness.
Yeah, I am now. Again, I'm back again. I keep going back and forth. I think last week I was like, nah. This week, she seems to be. I mean, there was a big focus this week well, there was a big focus on Vision sort of finding things out, and a lot of that, when I watched it back, a lot of that was very much prompted by Agnes. The scene where she forgot her lines, or should we do that again? Which was, I mean, I must admit, I literally, what was I doing? And I was watching it, and I literally just went, I had to go. I was like, is this actually happening? This is unbelievable. And I think then later on, when she brings the dog kennel in, Vision's sort of like, oh, and she brings in exactly what we need, the dog kennel. And something happened later on, I think, as well. And all these sort of little things that were putting doubt in Vision's sort of mind, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them were prompted by Agnes. And it got me thinking, is Agnes now really starting to sort of push things? But I don't know why she was wanting Vision to doubt where he is, given the week before. Well, seeing that the week before, or was it 2 weeks before, when she was at the wall with Herb, she
I think
brought,
it was 2 weeks.
was it 2 weeks? Yeah, yeah. She purposely
Yeah,
brought Vision over to say, what's Geraldine doing in there. So she is purposely sort of bringing Vision sort of around to the fact that this isn't a sort of real world. I don't know to what end, but probably like what you're saying, Tom. It's she's she's probably Agatha and twisting things behind the scene. I would say, yeah,
Yeah, like she just seems sinister, and especially with the twins right at the beginning. Babies in a crate. This actually reminded me of a few things. First off was the movie The Witch. There's I forget the actor's name. Anna Joy Taylor, Anna Taylor Joy. Can't remember. She was in New Mutants. One of the girls from that.
right, yeah,
Anyways, she was in this movie, and in the one scene, she's playing peekaboo with a baby, and it's like peekaboo moves her face, sees the baby, goes back, you see her like this, moves her hands again, baby's gone. The baby was gone because the witch took her. I found it weird that Agnes was moving through the house so quickly while Wanda and Vision were talking, nowhere near the babies, too, at least that we could see, then just kind of disappears. You don't hear, you don't see her, don't hear or see the babies. And then
yeah,
Agnes is back sitting over in the kitchen complaining about how she can't control the kids.
yeah, yeah. It was. Yeah, there was a few creepy moments I thought in this, and Agnes. I think the fact that Agnes just obviously was well, she was, she was shown basically Wanda's powers. You know what I mean? The kids are going up in front of her, and she didn't sort of bat an eyelid type of thing. So, which is different to what some of the other characters. I'm struggling to understand, and I think there must be more than Agnes who's sort of involved with this, because you get some of the characters, are we calling them characters now? The town people, like is it? I think it's Norm who can sort of releases his mind when they're at work. Now he obviously just he knows in his head, but he's still acting. He's acting out as Wanda or whoever wants him to. Yet you've got someone like Agnes who just seems to be she's just doing what she's doing. She doesn't seem to be playing a role in this Wonder world. But then you've got you've got the postman walks past when they were looking for the dog and said, "Oh, don't worry, your mother will make sure the dog's found," type of thing. So you've got all these little things sort of contributing in, and you're just sort of wondering. I'm still wondering, what's going on, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
so
I'll get into the
we
mailman.
finally got our answer.
Sorry, Zach?
Finally got our answer about Vision.
Yeah.
He was dead. Now is
Yeah.
resurrected. I think that they used.
Well, there's another thing, too, in that little sword briefing that really just took me by surprise. So they've had this footage for 9 days, right? In that time, Monica has come to Sword. No mention of it to her, even though she's pretty much the rightful, like, person to be in charge. Nothing.
Yep.
Hayward definitely knew what he was sending her into. Also, it was mentioned that, what was it? Experimenting on Vision to make weapons out of him is against the Sokovia Accords. So, if
Yep.
that's the case, why did Sword have Vision dissected in the first place?
See, this is
Well,
see what's
I think they disassembled, so couldn't be brought back. Maybe,
see, yeah. I
but
think that,
I
yeah.
see what you're
Sorry,
saying.
yeah, yes, yes. Sorry, Zach. I think you're right. I think, well, it was his will as well, wasn't it? His will was for him to be sort of disassembled, or so he couldn't be. But if he's been at Swords lockup for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks,
Oh, it'd be,
whatever.
5 years,
yeah,
I
it'd be
think.
about five
Oh
and
yeah,
a half
yeah.
years.
Sorry, yes, yes. Sorry, I'm thinking it's 3 weeks, and yeah, 5 years. Sorry, yeah. And given what Hayward did later on, when they sent the drone in and just decided, right, we're just going to fire on Wanda. There's no way Hayward would have had Vision for 5 years and not experimented on him. No way. That would have happened. I don't care what he says.
Yeah, and it just looked to me like there was people in lab coats there. It looked like they were experimenting. There was obviously like the army men there too. We saw people with guns pointing them up at Wanda when she came down. But
Yeah.
it looked like it was a bit more than just disassembling him to hide him away.
Yeah. I mean,
I think he was in separate
about
containers shipped off.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking about because Maria Rambo was still around for a few years, wasn't she? So she probably would have been in charge. But once Hayward was in charge, I think that's probably when things started getting experimented on him. But do you think Vision's dead?
No, I think he's.
I'm kind of in the same boat. I think it's like I'm more so leaning to that he's alive now.
Yeah.
Well, you guys saw the mid-season trailer, right?
Yes. I have.
Kind of looks like when he's flying away, he's still
all right.
Yes, but I don't know. I don't think Wanda can recreate the Infinity Stones. I'll say that.
No.
I don't think anyone can. Those are something that are either we might get brought back in 15 years, but for now, they're out of play. So that's not going back on his head. And we've seen what Vision looks like now, just as is. My guess is like once he gets out, he'll probably just end up needing repairs, probably in Wakanda or something. And then he'll just most likely go back and help with the Avengers because he'll be traumatized from what's happened with Wanda.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Or if he gets his memory.
Oh, right. He
Killed.
doesn't even have the memory of the Avengers.
So this is all he knows right now.
Oh, yeah.
But this is my theory on Vision because, and I'm back to him being alive again this week. He was dead last week. Gone.
Yeah.
This week he's alive again. In my mind, I do think he's alive or at least getting rebooted. Obviously his body is definitely there. We know that now. In Westview somewhere. I thought this was him getting back to being Vision again, just the way he was acting, the way he was certainly in the office, the way he was, and certainly with Wanda at the very end, the way he was talking. I know he's very angry, but the way he was talking, I was thinking this is the Vision we've had in the films. Whereas I think the previous episodes, it's been a sitcom Vision, and it hasn't been the sort of what's his actual term? Humanoid? No, not humanoid.
Synthesoid.
What's his actual synthesoid? And I think this was him getting back to who he was. And I think the conversation that Wanda has with I don't know if it's Billy or Tommy about how she can't bring people back from the dead. And I'm thinking she's saying that because she knows she has to her kids, because that's the right thing to say to kids. You need to deal with the loss of a dog. But I think she's saying it, and I think it's sort of paralleling that actually she hasn't done that. She's actually bringing her husband back to life. And I think he's been sort of rebooting all the way. Otherwise, it would be really creepy that she's obviously just sort of brought to life this dead body, and it's just walking around Westview.
Yeah.
Is that how I see it? That's how I sort of see it, as if he's not alive or not rebooting or whatever, she's just sort of animating this dead body. Or is that, am I being
Just sitting
far
on
too?
the chair hanging out.
She just wanted a friend.
It's like have you ever seen Weekend at Bernie's?
Yeah.
Carrying around.
Best example.
Yeah. A bit like that.
Weekend at Visions.
Yeah.
I was just going to say Weekend at Wanda's or something.
Yeah. Which when I saw that film, I found it really funny. But then the more you think about it, it's a sick film. They made a second one as well.
Yeah, Weekend at Bernie's too.
Yeah.
Like they.
Oh, man.
So yeah, so yeah, Vision's alive. I'm back there. Next week he'll probably be dead again, but it's fine. I'll stick to my guns next week. Yeah, yeah,
There was
I was
yeah.
reading some. Oh, go ahead,
no,
Tom.
no, no. This is all you, Zach.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I was reading a little bit on, the trailer, mid-season trailer too, that Vision can only live within the vicinity of West, because you see him trying to leave Westview, and then like a couple of
Mm,
scenes later in the trailer, you see his body.
Yeah.
What I was once he leaves Westview, he dies. So that's what I was gonna ask. Do you think he can only be alive in Westview under Wanda mind trap? Or
mm.
Uh, I think
Yeah.
I think once they get him back to Wakanda and Shuri can maybe restore his, because it seemed like she saved something at the end of Infinity War right
oh yeah,
before Corvus Glaive shows up. Like I think she's got like his memories or at least backed up until that point. So maybe like Vision doesn't remember just the next what was it, hour and a bit where Wanda has to kill him and then he gets killed. He just doesn't remember that, but everything else he remembers. If that's how
Yeah.
they can do it. And then like he just has, so it'll be, I guess it'd be he'd lose his memories once Shuri takes the thing out, then he'd get them back once Westview started and he was brought back. I think that's how they might do it. But
Do 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 we think Vision will come back beyond WandaVision? If that makes sense. Like, will we see? Do you think this is setting? Do you think WandaVision is setting this up so Vision it does come back in whatever form?
maybe like
And
a movie, like
yeah,
a movie and a cameo.
mm,
The reason I say it is because the actor, little old, not really old, but I don't feel like he's gonna do it for 5 films.
I don't
yeah,
know
that's true.
But
Yeah.
because
maybe
like, well, have you guys heard the story of Paul Bettany getting the role of Vision even though he was like already Jarvis?
No,
no.
I just assumed that they had it sort of planned from the start. Or
Kind of.
yes,
They were always going to bring in the Vision, and
yeah.
but they didn't, or Paul didn't know that he was going to get it or was going to be offered the role. So he went in with some big director in Hollywood, and that director in Hollywood told him he was finished. That he was going to get nothing else in the industry. That he's done. He's not going to have
Oh,
anything
really?
else. His career's over. He should just give up and just move back home. So he leaves that interview, sits down on the curb, and Joss Whedon calls him, asks him to play the Vision in the Avengers movie.
Really?
Okay, that
Really?
changes
Yeah.
the answer then.
So
Maybe he could be around for the next 4 to 5
that
movies.
that's why I think like I know he wants to stay around, and I think him and like Elizabeth Olsen have great chemistry. I just
Oh,
wonder if they're gonna use him as like a secondary character in like maybe Young Avengers or Avengers in the future.
yeah, yeah. I find that story really surprising because I think Bettany is Olsen as well in this. Both of them are absolutely brilliant.
Amazing.
Yeah. I find that very. I'm just. I mean, this is going a little bit off sort of topic really, but I can't think of anything that I've seen with Bettany in where I've thought that shit there. I've
Yeah.
always thought he's knocked it ever since. I remember seeing him in A Knight's Tale. Um,
It's
which was
with
just
Heath
I forget
Ledger,
what.
right?
Yes, yeah, yeah,
Yep.
brilliant film. I've seen it, but he nearly steals it from Heath Ledger. To be honest, I mean Heath Ledger is brilliant as well, but Paul Bettany is just as good. And yeah, everything else I mean, I haven't seen films like Wimbledon and stuff like that, so maybe maybe he's crap in that. I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, yeah,
Mhm.
but coming back to the point, he's brilliant in this.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
And I mean, for that reason alone, just how much he loves it, I do think in some capacity he'll stick around, even if it isn't particularly as Vision. He started out as Jarvis. There's no reason Jarvis couldn't come back from Vision.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
Does Jarvis even does
for like
Jarvis even
Yeah,
have a future?
Tom Holland.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. You could just that could be his link to Tony Stark now, and that's the only Iron Man references we'll get in Spider-Man. Highly doubtful, but
Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
what were you gonna say about the mailman, Tom? Before I go further,
oh,
Wanda.
actually, I want to get to that later because I have something else about
Okay,
Agatha
okay.
I want to talk about. I was gonna say something about Monica.
Yeah,
She gets her blood scan back, and very strangely, there's nothing there other than the
yeah,
outline of her body.
yeah. What's that
So,
setting up?
so do you think she just got her powers from getting thrown out, or she's already had them?
I don't know. Yeah, yeah. Um, I don't know. I think it would be a bit weak if she got them by just being thrown out. But I don't know. I mean, she said she got thrown. Or yeah, she said she got protected as she got thrown out.
Which you
Um,
pointed, or did Zach point that out when we covered that episode? One of you guys did.
well, that must have been Zach. I don't think it was me. Well, that she was sort of protected as she got thrown out because she said it was Wanda that had protected her.
Yeah, you
Although
can see it.
she threw her, yeah, she threw her out, but protected her. But maybe she protected herself. Maybe she does have powers. I don't know.
I thought
I th-
that for
I'm
a
gonna
sec.
go with she.
Sorry, Zach.
I was gonna say she probably had her powers before, because it seems like everybody in Westview was already that. I don't think a normal could actually. Never mind. The beekeeper got in.
But the
I was gonna say
beekeeper
because
got in without her knowing, though.
true, because we know of two characters now that have gotten in outside of
Mm-hmm.
Wicca.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
say it now. Evan Peters, Quicksilver.
Oh, you cut out a bit there, Zach. All I got was the Evan Peters
Oh,
Quicksilver. But yes.
oh, no. I was gonna say it. Now bringing up Evan Peters, Quicksilver.
Yeah.
That he must have got in through the outside of Westview, obviously.
Oh,
Has he come in?
I know. Uh, I feel
I
I might need to
did.
wait a sec to talk about this.
No,
Yeah,
yeah, definitely.
I mean, there's a few things that cropped up leading up to that, which has got me thinking, and this comes back to um, Wanda not being in. She's. It looks in this episode that she's in a lot of control. You know, like you think, oh yeah, she's got control of this, but then you've got the twins grown up, which she doesn't seem to have any part in, and then the doorbell at the end, and she's going, "That's not me," and then she is surprised when he turns up. And little side note, by the way, I'm so glad I was waiting for it to finish with just the door, with her opening the door.
Oh, same
I
here.
thought that's, I thought that's how it was going to finish.
Yep.
And then when we saw the back of him, I thought, oh no, this is where it's going to end. And then it turned around, we saw him. I thought, all right, and that was great. So I'm glad they showed it. Otherwise, I've been so pissed off
Yes, beer.
if it got left till next week. But yeah, so there's a few instances where Wanda hasn't been in control, or someone else has been controlling it. Now, are the twins real? Is Quicksilver real? You know, where did they come from? It might sound daft, but where did the twins come
Yeah.
from? You know what I mean? Um, you know, obviously they're growing up fast. Um, she doesn't seem to, realize. She was surprised when Quicksilver turned up at the door. So has Quicksilver come from outside the hex? We're calling it the hex now.
Mm-hmm.
I think we were calling it a bubble, but
Yeah.
should we go with Darcy? Call it the hex.
Oh yeah. We'll give her
Um,
props.
yeah. So I'm, which sort of brings me back to, I don't think Quicksilver or the Evan Peters Quicksilver is going to go beyond this series, because I think he's just a made up creation in the hex. and I don't think he's going to go any further. The fact that it's Evan Peters Quicksilver, um, I think it's just. I think they've just recast him as a joke, as like a jokey thing to do, maybe. Um, trying to relate it back to because it was the '80s theme this week, in the '80s sitcom. Have you all seen Roseanne?
Oh yeah.
Not fully, but yeah,
It,
I'm familiar with it.
it
Yes.
was. I think it was like an '80s sort of '90s sitcom, mainly '80s, I
It
think.
was like late early
Yeah, yeah,
and
but
now with the Connors, but yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But they recast sort of one of the main characters called Becky, and just recast it and just didn't even mention it. And I just don't know if this is like a little hint to that. This is a sitcom type thing. We're going to do it, and the fact that Darcy says, "Oh my God, she's recast a brother" type of thing. I think it's just not a nice thing, but I think it's just Marvel sort of just playing with that character, and I don't think it's going to go any further. I'm happy to be wrong. Do you guys think the same? I don't know.
I think it.
No,
Yeah, Zach, you
go
go
ahead, Tom.
first.
Go
No,
ahead.
no, you got first. I have a paragraph.
Well, I was gonna say I think it's part of the multiverse slash introduction into X-Men. And I brought it up in the chat yesterday with also about a Luke Skywalker type intro in the series that he's heard of, and we all suspected. I'm sure you're gonna get into this, Tom, so I won't say who, but I think there's gonna be one more character that seems to think in Peter's getting us ready for it.
Yeah, I'm very much on the same board with you, Zach. Like, I do think this is the start of us being introduced to the X-Men, particularly because the audio commentary for this episode says when when the camera pans around, it says in Westview, Wanda stares at the version of Pietro from the X-Men universe.
Or
Oh,
does it?
Or maybe not X-Men universe, but X-Men films. So it specifically
Wow.
says that version though, which made me wonder. I had two theories about him now. Either A, he was plucked out because it makes sense. He was active in the 80s. This is an 80s, 90s. Like,
Oh
these
yes,
are all the
yeah, yeah,
times he was active. He could have just
yeah,
been plucked out of the multiverse from that point, placed into here. Or
mm,
the person who's really behind this, whether it is, I'm sticking with the two, Mephisto or Nightmare, because I think whoever it is going to be the villain of the Doctor Strange movie. And I think we just met him, because I think that might be Evan Peters playing either Mephisto or Nightmare, and he's just
oh,
choosing a familiar form and a familiar character just to gain Wanda's trust, just to manipulate her
oh,
more, because he's
that'll be
probably
good.
also working with Agatha, because they're the only two we've seen that aren't fully controlled by Wanda.
Yeah, that'll be good. I think
oh yeah.
yeah. See, I've got a resistance to the multiverse, which I know is going to happen now, in Doctor Strange. But I was always very nervous about how that opens up and how Marvel deal with that. And that's maybe why I've stayed with. I don't think it's Evan Peters from from the from the X-Men. I think it's, although what you've just said there sort of discounts what I've just said in terms of if they've put it on the sort of the description in on the episode. Um,
Excuse me.
but I don't know. I still think he won't go forward after this. I think it's just, I don't know.
I could
That's my
easily
that's
see
my
that.
view on it.
I
I
think it'd
could
make
I
sense.
could. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
from what we've heard, they kind of want to kill the Fox X-Men universe. So I think you're right. Like it'd make the most sense with what they're trying to do with the X-Men to really just get rid of them. It's cool to have a little cameo like this. And
Yeah,
I guess speaking of, I'll get to that in a sec. But yeah, it's I think
it
it's either big villain or nothing.
yeah. I could see them going down that line. I suppose it depends how much they want the actor Evan Peters. You know, if Marvel have gone, yeah, we really want Evan Peters here. You know, then they'll find a way to get him in as quick if they want him as Quicksilver. You know, this is the way in. I just think, and I think from the chat, you guys are probably going to disagree with me with this, but I still think it's too early for them to bring the X-Men in.
I can agree with you there.
Oh, you do? All right, okay, right. Um, I mean, the Marvel are very good at pulling the wool over our eyes, and I've always thought that they'd keep away from X-Men for a long while, so they might actually do the opposite and just bang us the X-Men straight away. But I don't know, given what they've got slated coming up in terms of films and TV programs, I still don't think. And this is too much. I could accept them sort of little breadcrumbs here and there, hinting towards this and that. But this is a major. There's a character,
Mm-hmm.
there's there's Fox's X-Men right there in front of you, and I just think it's too easy to bring the X-Men in at this point. But I can be wrong.
I mean, I'd
That's why I
agree.
think they're just getting us ready.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Tom, I keep cutting you
Oh no,
off.
no, no, it's all good. I'm literally doing the same. It's okay, Zach. But yeah, it's
I think my mic.
yeah.
I think my mic might have like a 5 second.
Oh, like a delay.
Yeah,
Oh, that's okay.
yeah, better than an echo.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, I
I don't
just
remember what I was gonna say, so go ahead.
honestly neither really do I. Oh, actually, yes, I do. Um, just after hearing that, I think that just kind of lays the groundwork even more. So like, it's either he's gonna be big or nothing. Because I don't think the X Men are gonna get introduced now. And I honestly like the more I'm even thinking about it, like I really don't think he's playing like he's not Peter Maximoff from the Fox movies. It's just not. It's a different kind of character.
It would make sense for him to be someone like Mephisto or someone like that. I'd buy into that. If he, at the end of this series, if he, unmasks or whatever, or becomes here, the villain. I could buy into that. It'll be interesting to see what happens next week because I thought I thought he was sent in. Well, I think he was sent in to distract Vision effectively because Vision was about to unravel everything. They were having a blazing argument. Um, things were coming to a head, and I was just thinking, what's going to happen next episode? Because Vision's already about to lose the plot. So, and I think whether it was Agnes who sent Quicksilver in, or the theory that you've got, Tom, which makes sense. I think whoever's behind this um, has thought, oh shit, everything's going to pot here. We need to introduce something here to cool it down. And the introduction of a brother Quicksilver will do that. Just mentioning that actually, that a point that's probably worth picking up on when they were having that argument, Wanda and Vision. Um, Wanda does sort of stutter and say or reveal that she didn't know how she got there, or she didn't know how it started off, or whatever. So that is to me is a big indication that there's someone else who kickstarted this, and like you say, is behind the scenes at the moment. And I think we've seen that through the episodes from the start that it didn't you didn't think what or I don't think Wanda knew what she was there for, what she was doing, and she slowly realised, and whether or not in her own head she's thought she's done this herself, rightly so, because she's created this hex to keep her vision there and everything. And certainly when she left the hex, she was in full badass, fucking
Yeah,
mental.
Yeah, that part was insane.
that was great. That was
Was
awesome.
it? I tell you what. I tell you what it reminded me of. Which is quite. I don't know if they've done this on purpose or it's just something I've picked up on. But the scene in X-Men, the first X-Men, when Magneto comes out, I can't remember, he comes out of a building, and all the cops have got the guns pointed, and do they shoot? I think they do shoot. And does he stop the bullets? Is that
Stops
right?
the bullets, lifts the
Does he?
guns.
Yeah, and turns them on, and I thought there was good parallels with that. But just the image of Wanda in her Infinity War Endgame outfit, with the green lasers on her. That shot was just amazing, and
Yeah,
she was so fucking badass. I found that so cool, so cool.
but both
Yeah,
her and Paul Bettany this episode were amazing. I know we've talked about that like a lot, but just
yeah, yeah. And she had a Sokovian accent when she came out the hex.
yes.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she seemed to know director Hayward.
Oh, do you think?
'Cause
Yeah,
she called
actually.
him director, like, to him.
Oh,
Clearly knowing
oh,
that she knew him before this all happened.
he was a dick.
Yeah.
You called it last week, Tom. You called it last week.
I love the cut, though, when Darcy's like, well, I'll say it for you. He's a terrorist. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that was
It's
cool.
like,
That was cool.
what was the guy
Yeah.
from Iron Man 2? Justin Irons? Or Jeremy? No, Jeremy Irons is an actual person.
Uh,
I know who you're talking
Justin
about.
Hammer. Justin
Hammer.
Hammer.
Justin Hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like, is this like a corporate version of him?
He was good, Justin Hammer. Like a good character, I liked him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, the dog, Sparky.
Yeah.
Yes, so Sparky is actually in the Tom King Vision comics.
Yeah, I read that. That's cool.
Yeah, and he is
He's Vision's dog. Is he Vision's dog?
yes,
Yeah.
until a little warning for some listeners and viewers. This is just gonna me describing a scene that's kind of animal abuse in the comic. Vision's daughter actually ends up basically beating the crap out of Sparky and killing him. And then she realizes that Sparky was actually eating a plant that only grew in Agatha Harkness's garden.
Ooh.
And I find it very strange how the person who everyone thinks is Agatha, it's her garden where the dog happens to be eating this stuff and where he happens to die.
I did wonder whether or not Agnes had killed the dog. I must admit. It just seemed a bit creepy. It was like, yeah, you've killed that dog, haven't you? I don't know why, but yeah.
It was, like,
All creepy stuff.
yeah, like I saw a theory that maybe the person who actually killed, or actually even if the dog was killed by Agnes or if it was by Wanda, it was done as a sacrifice to bring back Pietro. But I think if they were doing that, it would have been Aaron Taylor Johnson we would have seen, and not Evan
Yeah.
Peters.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't have the dog as a major sort of part. I think it was. I always thought the dog was to me was like a classic '80s type of sort of story in a sitcom where the kids get a dog and they have to look after the dog, and then when it died, I thought that just led into sort of my theory that she explained to the kids that you have to deal with death, but my theory that she hasn't dealt with death. She's trying to resurrect or keep alive her her boyfriend, husband. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I did. What the other thing which I thought, which I don't know if this leads into, I didn't really have any major thoughts on it. I don't know how it links in. I did wonder whether or not when she goes out of the hex, when she goes back in, there seems to be like a big red sort of the hex sort of lights up all red as she goes back in. I just wondered is that her just has she exerted some sort of like massive power surge or something which might have brought her brother back? I don't know. I don't know. Or it just seems strange when other people had gone in,
I,
Yeah.
they just fell through, and you would think she doesn't need to. Surely she can just walk back and forth through it. I just thought it was a little bit weird that we saw this big red sort of thing
Yeah.
go up the hex. I don't
Almost
know.
like a barrier.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say like nobody else.
Oh, I
That's
think
what I.
you cut out for the last
You
little
cut
bit.
out there, Zach. Yeah. Oh, have we lost Zach?
Zach.
Oh, Zach, you frozen, mate. Can you hear us, Zach?
Oh, I was gonna say
Hello?
yeah.
I think we're losing you, Zach.
Yeah.
Can you hear him, Tom, or not?
I had not
I
anymore.
think it's a barrier
Sounds like it's
you put up.
lagging.
Nobody else could get in.
Oh, there we go. Hey.
I still can't hear him.
Yeah, me neither. And the video's stopped.
My bad. Okay.
Oh,
Oh wait, I can
oh,
hear him.
yeah, we can hear you now. It's
We
just you
do
frozen.
have like negative 30-degree winds right now,
Ooh.
so maybe that
No, Zach, we're losing you. Yeah.
Oh no.
screwed up.
Oh, now you're back. Oh. I think it's frozen.
Yeah, it's frozen again. Oh,
Maybe we might have
can you
lost him.
reboot?
Oh,
What's up?
we're good.
Ah,
There we go. Okay.
Okay.
yeah, we're back.
All right.
Sorry, what
I think
what
I
you
have to
saying, Zach?
no, I was gonna say the barrier. I think that was just so nobody else come through type of ordeal.
Oh, right, yeah,
Yeah,
that would make sense actually.
because
Yeah,
we did
yeah,
see in the
okay.
one trailer too the car, which I'm assuming is what Monica was talking about earlier about the vehicle to build to breach the barrier.
Yeah,
We see it hitting like the red barrier in the one
yeah.
trailer. I can't remember if it's the mid-season one or if it was one of the original ones.
It was.
Yeah.
It was the
And
mid-season.
so like it makes me think like is that barrier just there now and like preventing everything from going in, or like does she just have now a lot more control? Because as we kind of saw with the beekeeper, it didn't look like that was her choice that he went in.
No, but he got in fairly easy, didn't he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I think Vision take. He tries to, because that.
You cut out again, Zach.
yeah.
Damn it. No, I think Vision takes down the barrier.
All right. Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I
That would make sense.
yeah. Another thing just about the big vehicle that was going there. Monica said she knew an aerospace engineer who'd be very interested in perhaps piloting it. Did you guys have any theories on who that might be?
This is the theory I've got of who we're gonna the big cameo that's being talked about. Well, for people who don't know, I think the three of us here probably know that. I think as the story goes, Elizabeth Olsen has sort of or has said something along the lines of you're going to get a Mandalorian style cameo or appearance from a big sort of actor, and I think from this episode, and I know you guys have got different views to me on this, and I can see why you're going along the lines of a lot of people are going, oh, could be X-Men, could be this, get that. I think Doctor Strange is far too easy. I think we're going to see Doctor Strange. I think we are going to see probably at the end. But I think could possibly get Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, because as you said there, Tom, she refers to a aerospace engineer that she knows, that Monica knows, and in that scene, she talks about it, but then she starts texting, and she actually gets her phone and she's texting him or her. Well, I think it just refers to him. No, maybe not. It might be a her. I don't know. But I think I think that's Reed Richards, and I think we could get a Reed Richards. And I thought about this last night, and I've been thinking about it all day today, and I'm thinking, actually, two actors that played Reed Richards, would they want either of them back? And I'm thinking they probably wouldn't. So, although that's my theory, that I still think that's who she was referring to when she was talking about the engineer that she knows. I've sort of a little bit gone off the fact that that Reed Richards might be the big cameo, purely because I don't think Marvel would want them two actors back who's previously played him.
Definitely not the most recent one.
No, this is it. And I think who played the other one? Was it Ewan Gruff? I'm getting his name.
Oh, I can't remember.
I think he's a British bloke. Forgetting his name, but I think he's too. I don't think he would. I think he's probably too. He might not be too old. I don't know, but yeah. So although that was my original theory, thinking about it all day today, I thought, oh, actually no, he wouldn't. He wouldn't want. That's not a big enough cameo that probably Elizabeth Olsen's talking about. It's a big enough character, Reed Richards, but in terms of the actors who's played him previously, I don't think it would have that much impact. I mean, do you guys want to talk about your theories on this? Sorry, probably should say it to viewers, if you haven't seen the Mandalorian, first of all, go and see the Mandalorian. It's fucking awesome. And two, there's a massive cameo at the end of the Mandalorian season 2, which you should probably go and see as well, because that's awesome. Just watch the last episode.
Yeah,
yeah.
You'll get a good kick out of it. But there's a big cameo in it, and Elizabeth Olsen is sort of hinted towards a similar type of cameo. What do you guys think?
You mind if I start this off, Zach?
Go for it.
All right. I think there's a few possible answers, but I'm going to stick with the one that we were talking about. The big names. Who has played a role for as long as like Mark Hamill has Luke Skywalker? No one in the Marvel movies, because they only started around 2000. And those movies that started around 2000, which would be the Marvel Legacy characters. I don't know. I think it's going to be one of those X-Men. And I think that it'd be the person with the most tie to Wanda Maximoff. And I think that would be Sir Ian McKellen playing Magneto, or Eric Lenscher. And I think that might just be even like a tease at like the multiverse movie. Like even if that's like our post-credit scene, I think that's probably what the big cameo is, though.
You actually you think it'll be Ian McKellen?
I don't think it's Fassbender. I think it's like McKellen, because I think that like you see Fassbender, everyone's gonna be like, I remember him from the one alright X-Men movie I saw him in. And then you see Fassbender and you're like, oh my god, I saw the guy who literally killed it even in that awful third movie. That's just my take on it.
Go on, Zach. What's your thoughts?
No, yeah, that's Magneto. I mean,
yeah.
Or are we talking about the whole Luke Skywalker type introductions? Okay, that, or I could somehow see a flash to Robert Downey Jr. maybe, or Chris Evans possibly. Or sorry, I should say Chris Evans during Civil, or like the time between Civil Infinity.
But is that akin to like a Luke Skywalker cameo though? Because they've only Chris movies for not even 2 years now.
But it's not expected though.
Yeah, I agree with Zach.
That's the only reason I kind of think that.
That
But
is
I
true.
am really putting my money on Magneto.
Magneto, yeah, same
I mean,
here.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, I want to stick with that. But if it's not that, it's got to be Chris Evans or Hawkeye
yeah,
or something.
Oh yeah.
yeah. I'd agree. It depends. Yeah, it depends what when Olsen's made them comments. Does she refer to the MCU as it has been since Iron Man? Then you're right, Zach. It has to be Downey Jr. or Chris Evans. You couldn't really have. I don't even think Hawkeye would be big enough, like a big enough cameo. It's a bit like Doctor Strange. Don't think
Yeah.
she's referring like that. I think that could just easily happen. Um, but yeah, I agree. It would be Chris Evans or Robert Downey Jr. One of them would be the bigger ones from the sort of the MCU going back to Iron Man. Um, what I've seen being, I don't know if it's just fans wanting this to happen, but probably one of the biggest ones you've said Magneto. There's obviously Charles Xavier, but Wolverine.
Yep. Yep.
What about Hugh coming back?
I'd
Now
love
that
that.
would be, to
Oh,
me,
that would be
that would
huge.
be the ultimate. That would be the ultimate sort of
Him
if
or
he.
Patrick Stewart.
Well, I see. I would have Patrick Stewart on the same sort of lines as McKellen,
Yeah.
and I think Jackman is above that because he's sort of gone. No, I'm not, that's me done. You know what I mean? And to be honest, Logan was a nice sort of end to his sort of. So for him to come, I don't know how he would or why he would, but that to me would be a very big, very very big
Well,
sort of surprise.
technically, we're only in the 2023 and 2030.
Oh, you cut at it.
So, I mean, he could. Oh,
No, no, you're good. You're good.
uh,
No, you
uh,
good? You good?
uh, so, I mean, he could still return, but I see what you're saying, though. Yeah, it was a good send off for his
Yeah,
character.
yeah.
Why would you want to bring him back? But that he could. That's the thing.
It just makes that like what you just said. That just makes sense though. Like kind of what we kind of talked about with Evan Peters. They picked him from that decade, the '80s. Hugh Jackman's Logan would be in this decade. Like, that'd be perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, it would. It would. That would all make sense.
Oh, that'd
Which,
be crazy.
I mean, I'm assuming we're moving into the '90s next episode.
Yeah.
If you're talking about this big cameo, you'd be talking when we're in the present day, wouldn't you? If it's at the end, and well,
If he
we'll
if
see.
it's
We'll
not
see
a
what happens.
post-credit scene.
Well, this is it. Do you guys still watch till the very end of the episode, just in case there's a rare? Yeah, that's
I
a
skip through like the 5 minutes of credits and get to like the last 2 minutes and watch that.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, I'm still
yeah,
waiting for an end credit.
yeah.
Sometimes I
No,
just
that'd
watch the
be
visuals just because I need to calm down. Like last week, or I guess Friday, my one buddy and I stayed up and watched them. We just kind of like sat there and we're just like, what? What?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was mental. It was
Yeah.
mental. Looking at. We had the adverts back. What
Oh
did we
my
think of the
gosh.
adverts?
I think this is the most below the belt advert that we're probably gonna get. Oh no.
Was it below the belt?
Lagos for when you make a mess you didn't mean to. Yikes. But
Those were still the characters of Hydra, though, right?
yeah, from the Hydra set.
Okay, that's what I. Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
also that's
I
the
was
only other two
seriously
kids we've
looking into
seen.
that commercial so much. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. These are only two kids you're saying. Yeah. I've got a theory. Of the adverts.
Let's hear it.
I've got a theory. Um, I read this. I read this. I think it was episode 2. I read something about it, about how they refer. I don't know. We might have even talked about it on here. Actually, I don't know. How about how these refer to an Infinity Stone? Did one of you mention that previously or not? I've gone back and looked because I've read it again on sort of fan websites. Um, that the first one refers to the Power Stone with was it the toaster and the sort of the blinking that refers to the Power Stone. The second one was the watch, which time stone. Third one, which was it the soap or the but at the end, final shot is the soap in a box, and the box looks like the Tesseract. So we have the space stone, and then this one, the spilling of the red liquid looks like the ether. So the theory is that we're going to get two more, and they'll refer to the Soul Stone and whatever the one I haven't mentioned. I can't remember.
Mind.
What have I mentioned
Vision.
there?
Well, I mean,
The mind. Yeah, Vision.
But we see
Two
the
the
Mind
ten
Stone
goes
every
to it.
episode.
Jeez.
Yeah, he has the Mind Stone in his head, doesn't he?
Yep.
Like, you see it. Sorry, you see it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Depending on how
Yeah, so
Wanda
that
looks at him, he might not.
Yeah. That creeped me out when I first saw that episode last.
Same here.
Like, whoa, lifeless Vision.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do we think it seems that she hasn't got any control over Vision? She in the past she's snapped back and stuff, but certainly at the end of this episode where the credits were rolling and she obviously expected that's going to be it, I'll walk out now, but obviously he burst out at the credits rolling and kept things going. Is this? Do you think this is her losing control, maybe, or losing her grip on the reality or like her reality in there, or is Vision starting to break out of it, or what do you
I
guys think?
Because again, with the mid-season trailer, she's sitting to see like, everything kind of fade, and then resets everything. He does. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to say. I think, if anything, to me, this just, I don't want to say gives more evidence, but just makes me think more and more that someone is manipulating her. Like you were saying earlier, Chris, like, I do kind of think that, I don't think Agnes is intentionally trying to wake up Vision, but her actions and what she's doing is waking up Vision without her realizing it. So I think she's just trying to mess with him at this point, and also like mess with Wanda, because it seems like the whole thing is to just mess with Wanda, get her to just use a ton of power to make a city, change everything every day for seemingly no reason. I don't know. I think we might even start to see more and more people not in under Wanda's control as much, like the mailman we were talking about earlier, Zach. Personally, I think he's part of the Salem 7. I think he will be at least one of somebody in there. But yeah, I think like, I don't know, it's tricky. It's tricky. One big touch that I really liked is they gave Vision Wolverine's power from the House of M comic, so now he can touch people and bring them back to reality.
Wolverine's. Did you say Wolverine's power there?
Oh yes, sorry, I should probably explain that. In the House of N comic, so for that it wasn't just like a city; it was the entire world was redone, and everyone basically got their ideal life. It's like, for example, Peter Parker's everyone was alive. The what is it? I think they called it the House of M. So the House of Magnus was Magneto, Pietro, and Wanda, and they were like this big royal family. But Wolverine was the one person who started to get memories of his old life, and eventually he went around and found all of the Avengers and the X-Men and Fantastic Four and brought all their memories back. And then they realized they had to go stop Wanda and tell her babies weren't real.
Yeah.
She didn't like that.
Yeah. Talking about who's what's real or not. Monica did say whatever's created in there is real. She did, so I don't know whether or not she was hinting towards the fact that kids are real now. Maybe that's hinting towards Vision being real, and I suppose now whether or not Quicksilver's real, I don't know. I just found that interesting because to me, I've just very much been along the lines of the twins are just sort of made up
Yeah.
in not necessarily in her head, but she's created them in the hex. But I know they've got they've got potentially got stories going forward. If you look at the comics, they have got sort of a potential future in the MCU, I suppose. It would seem daft not to utilize them, I suppose. But but that being said, if they're real, is Vision real? Is Quicksilver real? If what Monica said's true, anything that's created in there is alive and living, then surely everything is,
Yeah.
including Vision. Yeah, Vision's alive.
Hmm.
Vision's back
Yeah.
alive.
Honestly, after you explaining that, I'm almost on the wave now where it's like, yeah, I think even Pietro might be alive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Here's
yeah.
the thing:
And
if
what?
they, oh, sorry, you go. You go
No,
first,
no,
Chris.
no, no. Well, it was just a quick one actually. It was after when you messaged yesterday saying, "Oh, look at the audio on the." So I was watching the audio. It didn't come up about that Quicksilver being in the Fox's Quicksilver.
We'll
But
see if.
what he does say, um, when he comes in, he says something to Wanda, and then he goes, "Oh, who's the popsicle?"
Yeah.
Which made me think, is he looking at the dead body, of Vision?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The
I,
stiff.
yeah. Bernie, weekend at Bernie's over there. Why have you got Bernie over in the corner? Um, I just, I just thought it was a little. It was. I just thought it was interesting, and I only picked up on it because I had the subtitles on, reading it. I thought, oh, he's referring to him as a popsicle. It might have just been a jokey thing to say because he maybe knew that he
Yeah.
was dead before. I don't know. I don't know.
Here, I'm gonna. I'll see if I can play it or if my volume's loud enough. Um. Okay. I just need to make sure. So, here, let me try to turn. Ooh, I don't know if you can see it. It's the. Oh, that is blurry. I don't know if that's gonna focus in. But like,
I'm
yeah,
struggling.
audio description on this side.
Oh yeah, English audio description.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So like that's
yeah.
just what it is. Oh, and I just exited it. Look how tech savvy I am.
So,
And then,
Wanda stares at the version of Pietro from the X-Men films.
sorry, I don't know if you caught that. I kind of just, I didn't know that was right at
yeah,
the perfect time.
yeah. Version of Quicksilver from the X-Men films.
Hmm.
Is I mean, is that not to describe to people who's using the audio and can't see
Yeah.
that this isn't this is Evan Peters. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Honestly,
know.
I think that's honestly more so what it is. And maybe even
Yeah,
just to trick people, kind of like probably what we're all doing anyways, to make it think that
yeah,
it's Quicksilver, and maybe it isn't. Or maybe it's just
yeah.
some other person that she just manipulated to play the role of her brother.
But it's not her though, is it? That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's not her.
Or egg.
I which is interesting because at the moment well, is it her that brought the twins in? Certainly, she brought Vision there. Did she reboot Vision? It might not be. See, all this might have started by Agnes or someone else kick-starting it all by bringing Vision back,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's got Wanda into this world. I don't know. Um, Seems like we've lost Zach there.
Yeah.
Um,
We'll be
what
waiting,
what
Zach.
what I did notice, sorry Zach, I'm gonna keep talking. Was when we had that scene with Quicksilver coming back, it cut to Darcy, who said, "Oh, they've recast. She's recast Pietro," but there was alarms going off in the background.
Yeah.
Something was obviously going off on the outside. Now, this was a while after Wanda had gone back into the hex. So
Mhm.
so it wasn't, to me, it wasn't a left, it wasn't just the alarms from Wanda coming out. She'd gone back in, and I'm assuming a significant time had passed for them to turn them alarms off from the first time. So something's obviously happened.
Mhm.
So maybe that is something. Maybe someone entering from the outside going in. It might have been Quicksilver entering from the outside. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. It just all seemed to be kicking off when on the outside when Quicksilver turned up. So
Yeah.
something big has happened, I suppose.
Oh yeah. It's almost like the perfect timing.
Mm.
Like I saw a
Yeah.
few people thinking Hayward, sorry, is actually like involved with this. Like he's helping Agnes and whoever else there sending stuff in. I don't personally buy that too much. I just think he's a dick. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. I must admit, I thought I didn't think we'd see him again. Actually, I'll be honest. I know you thought we'd get the dick side of him. You said it last week, but I
and I'm
thought
glad.
yeah, yeah, no, yeah, yeah. I mean, it works really well that he's a dick on the outside because I mean, it's, to be honest, he's a dick, but he's fucking stupid.
Oh my
If
god.
if he's done all this research, he knows exactly who Wanda is, and the first thing he does is decide to pull a missile on her. We're like, what does he think's going to happen?
Yeah.
What an idiot! You know what I mean? It's just like, but that might feed back into um, what you mentioned, which I didn't pick up on, that she knows him, and maybe there is history, and maybe he's just thought, "What, I need to blow her out of, I just need to get a gun," type of thing. So that might sort of feed into that, perhaps.
There was like the one scene too when I think it's Monica when she's getting that little scan done and then it does a bunch
Yeah.
of quick flashes and there's one scene of Wanda that we have never seen before. I originally thought it was from Infinity War, but it's not. It's new footage.
Is that when she was? Oh, what? When
This is like
is that?
right
When
near
they
the
were in the
beginning.
briefing? Is it
Just
when they were in the
before.
briefing? Oh, right. Okay.
And it was like
Because
it was a quick flash. It looked like Wanda was like in tears, and it was around some flashes of inside Westview, and also just flashes of Monica from when she'd been blipped back, and
all right. Okay, I didn't notice that.
uh,
Um.
it looked like it was in Westview. The picture of Wanda, like
All
before
right.
everything had been changed. That just
Hmm.
made me think maybe we. It seems like Monica actually might have got a little look into what started this, but she either fully doesn't understand or doesn't want to tell Hayward.
Yeah. Yeah. I like Monica.
Me too.
I think Monica's very good. She's and I, oh this just reminded me, actually, when they speak about um it's actually quite a good scene where they talk about Wanda, how she's the only one that could have taken down Thanos, and she would have if they hadn't thrown the blitz at her, type of thing. And then Wu sort of goes, "Oh no, Captain Marvel could have," and she brushed that off. Monica was like, "No, we're not talking about her," and I'm like, something's happened there,
Yeah.
which might feed into my. I don't know how I got this when we talked about last week about how the Captain Marvel 2 might be set in the 90s, or maybe the noughties. No, sorry, the noughties, because it was set. The first one was set in the 90s, wasn't it? So I don't know whether or not something's happened. It certainly feels like something's happened there, because she just sort of why would she not talk about her, her mother's best mate, who she got on with quite well as a kid? You know what I mean? So, I think we'll pick that up in probably Captain Marvel too. I suspect that something's going to happen there.
I was wondering if maybe it was like, I still think like that makes sense for them to do the movie then. Like you're jumping decade to
in the
decade, that it
noughties?
makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it almost seemed as though like, I don't know, maybe it's just how I'm picturing right now. I'm kind of picturing like she hasn't seen Captain Marvel since the last time on her farm. Well, that's just what I was thinking. Then when she comes back after everyone's been blipped, she finds out her mom's been dead. She finds out not only the Avengers stopped this threat, but a new hero reappeared or appeared
Yeah.
who no one had ever seen before.
Yeah.
But Monica remembers who it is. So, I don't know.
Yeah, so
Something
I
happened.
read. Yeah, I did read. A fan sort of theory that she was just pissed off because her mother had gone, and that Captain Marvel had saved the world, but couldn't save her own, couldn't save her mother. I'm thinking, Zach, you back?
Zach's back.
Yeah, I think my internet got reset or something.
Oh,
I just reset it.
true.
Here I am.
You're back.
Oh,
We're talking about. I don't know if you noticed
sorry
it.
about that.
No, it's no bother. No, we're talking about when Captain Marvel gets mentioned, and Monica sort of shrugs the comment off, and we're just wondering whether or not something's happened between them two, whether or not it's something that will probably be picked up in Captain Marvel 2. We suspect, but
Yeah, 'cause
again,
she brings up that she got her powers from.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it
yes,
got brought.
that's right. Yeah. So yeah. But we were just talking about how sort of badass Monica was really, and she seems to know exactly what's sort of going on. She completely disagreed with Haywood, and seems to understand that it's the grief that's running through Wanda, and not that she's an actual, villain. She could potentially be harmful, but not necessarily a villain. And I found it quite strange that Haywood decides to sort of go, or asks Wu, has she got an alias? Has Wanda got an alias? Inferring that, well, if she hasn't got an alias, then she's not an Avenger type of thing. That's what I got from that,
Yeah.
which made me think, well, Doctor Strange hasn't, has he? Sorcerer Supreme, maybe? I don't know.
Unless he's just going by Doctor Strange and they're calling that his alias. And that,
Okay.
but that's even if they classify him as an Avenger.
True. Yeah.
And
Well, yeah.
also,
Yeah.
I thought Wanda was named Scarlet Witch already. I thought she had gotten that name.
When? I don't know if she has.
I don't remember
Oh
that
no, I
ever
think
getting
Hawkeye just
brought
called her a
up though,
witch. That was it. Something like
because I
that.
don't think the term Scarlet Witch actually ever.
I don't
like
think
a
Scarlet,
movie.
but I think someone called her a witch though.
She could quite easily be called Scarlet Witch now.
Yeah.
With all the red that's flying around, the hexes, I'm actually surprised that Haywood didn't call her Scarlet Witch after that point. I thought that's where it was actually leading to her being called the Scarlet Witch, but I was trying to think of the others, but pretty much everyone else has an alias, or has been called something else. But I just thought it was. Sorry, go on, Zach.
Oh no, I was just gonna bring it up because I brought it up before that. I watched. Love that. After this episode aired Friday, to rewatch Supernatural again. Aside lately, they brought up Agnes was a old witch that put their fix other witches' problem.
Oh,
So then I started thinking a way to WandaVision. Hmm. You know, is that something, or am I just looking way into it, or you know?
Oh,
No, I think
ah,
that's perfect.
yeah, I like that. Yeah, that would make that would make perfect sense.
Because it makes sense
Actually,
why
yeah,
they chose that name. And then, well, Agatha Harkness, too, is the first witch who
Exact.
was
Yeah.
burned at the stake at Salem.
yeah.
Exact. Yep.
So
Yep.
I think that's
Uh,
perfect.
yeah, Zach, I'm going with that. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
So do I have to start watching
Could
Supernatural now to pick up on these things?
not even to pick up on these things. You know, totally out of left field. Even though I pointed right.
It's my line.
Watch it. I mean, I shit on Supernatural for so many years, and then I finally started watching it about a month ago. The 14th season. It is phenomenal. I mean, it's got so many connections, like the. It's a great series. Watch it. Watch it.
Yeah, I dropped off, and I'm a bit good. I need to get back into it. I think I dropped off about the 10th series, and I need to
It
pick it up
gets a
again.
little dull around then. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie,
do I
but
need do I need to stick
it
with it?
picks back up.
Right, I need to
It
go back to
picks
it then.
back up.
Yeah,
They
Yeah.
they
yeah,
they resurface Lucifer and all that. It gets
right.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, the only time I'd see anything about this show would be like if I was watching something on like one of the DCCW shows. Sorry, I know this is a Marvel podcast, but I gotta show a little bit of love to DC. A little, because unfortunately, no, never mind, never mind. I'm just kidding. They're great shows.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, this season especially, I think the Superman Lois trailer and the Flash trailer look promising. But that's it. That's it with that.
Yeah. Do we um do we think the beekeeper's going to reappear? No mention again of the beekeeper.
What if that was the why the alarm was going off? He was getting kicked out underground.
Maybe. I
Yeah,
think
no,
we.
I think it'd make more sense with Evan Peters showing up. It just
Yeah. I think. So sorry, just to fill Zach in. Zach, I think you'd gone offline when we talked about. I don't know if you noticed that when they were doing the whole thing with Evan Peters or Quicksilver being at the front door, cut to Darcy, and Darcy made the comment about him being recast, but the alarms were going off as well. So we were wondering, what the hell was going on? The alarms are going on off, outside. Was that Quicksilver, going through the barrier into it, or was it something else? And yeah, I'm not sure it's the beekeeper. I still think the beekeeper's in there somewhere. I I, I don't think it's something as simple of the just you know it's just been left. I think they have to go back to that. Um, he's in there. He got in there. In that moment, Wanda, what did you do? Reset that scene or whatever.
yeah.
But I don't think she could have kicked him. Could she have kicked him out? I don't think so because she just reset the
could that
scene.
could that alarm though not be related to the hex though? Could that be like an incoming person outside
Yeah,
of that they're
Yeah.
picking up on?
Mm-hmm.
possibly. Yeah,
A
yeah.
Yeah, if anything, it literally
gonna
could
say
be
it
like
again,
Thor or Doctor Strange.
Magneto,
I mean, hey, yeah, but like
or
it could be
yeah,
something as simple
Captain
as them
Marvel.
flying by. Well, or even Miss Marvel too. This is based in
Yeah,
New Jersey. Um,
yep.
it seems so much more unlikely now that she just won't show up. If they do, I wonder if they're gonna have her like maybe like be one of the residents there, but I don't really see how that fits too much with her. Unless they
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they should as much as I do want to see Kamala Khan, I think it's probably safer to wait for her series to introduce her. Unless we get like a tag at the end of Black Widow or something, but
Mm. Yeah, there's a lot going on, and there's a lot going on, and I know Marvel are good at sort of like drip feeding us, new characters and stuff. But I think sometimes you just need to just introduce a character, at their own series type of thing. Yeah. Right. Have we got
Thought
anything
my
else?
for a second again.
Just wondering if we got anything else to talk about. Oh, the missing
I mean,
the
I want to, yeah. Especially since Black Widow just got brought up. But
yeah. Go on then.
that's if we want to go into that.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll just mention a few more things on WandaVision, then we could maybe go into that. Again, these might just be quick points, really. But again, going back to Agent Wu, the reason why Agent Wu is there is this missing person. That person is still not sort of being mentioned again. Do we think that person is going to be a major point, or is it just something that's how they got Wu there and that's it?
I think it has to be
What
a
do you think?
major point. It seems so sinister. It's just because the other people of Westview, they exist. But this person, though, went from having a family, friends, associates to nothing. No one even knew who they were. Whereas, like, these other people, like, we know, like, they have family. There's other stuff going on. Their driver's license are posted. I can't remember the actor's actual name, but yeah, Norm talks about like his sister's looking after his
Yeah,
dad. He needs to get there as soon as possible.
that was quite a sinister sort of part of the episode where he sort of gets his mind sort of back and he sort of realizes, shit, I need to put him back under because he's just losing the plot here. So it's obviously, was it like over 1,000 people that are in that type of state? No wonder Vision sort of kicks off later because that's completely goes against what he sort of believes in, and probably what Wanda does as well. But she's obviously in a state of grief where she just wants her little world to stay as it is.
Yeah, because this is only 2 weeks after Endgame, which
Yeah,
for her is
yeah,
about 2 weeks after Infinity War.
yeah. Where she's basically, well, she lost a brother obviously years before. She killed a boyfriend, and then he came back to life, and then someone else killed her in front of him. And then and then she gets blipped or whatever. She comes back, and by the way, you're gonna have to go and fight this dude who killed your boyfriend now.
And almost
And
tears
yeah,
them apart.
Yeah.
well, yeah. Yeah, she's got. Well, I mean, in that moment in Endgame, she's got a lot of rage, understandably. And it's, yeah, okay, he's gone at the end, but I can fully understand why she's in this state. So yeah, mental.
I had one little thing that Norm said in that conversation that kind of caught me off guard. He's
Yeah.
talking to Vision. He knows Vision's wife's name is Wanda. Even the actor underneath would. She's an Avenger. She's been all over TV. Why not say Wanda's doing this to me instead of she? Because for me, saying the she, that leaves it really up in the air, being like, is it Wanda the only one doing this? Or is it Agatha Agnes making them feel this pain to keep them there, to keep them under her control?
Mm, I never thought about it like that. I just assumed it was Wanda. But yeah, that could, that could, it could be. I can see where you're coming from there. Yeah.
I'll be
Um,
looking too hard into it for the next episode, probably, anyways.
no, yeah, it's little things like that which Marvel are quite good at, and once something's revealed, you look back and go, "Oh yeah, that was mentioned." So something like that wouldn't. I can get why you're looking into it like that. Yeah, no, that's a good catch. That like that.
I guess, well, one last thing for WandaVision from me. If Aaron Taylor Johnson comes back in this show at all, it had better be like he either exposes the other one for not being the real him and just goes like, "What? You didn't see that coming?" Or
Yeah,
just
Oh, I
come
would
in
love
like
that.
that. I'd just be
Yes.
like, "Oh my
That
god."
would be great.
yes. Do you think that's do you think that could be the cameo that Olsen's talking about?
I don't think that
That it might,
is.
no, no.
But
But
I
that
The
would
think
be
other
a
it's
good
good
cameo
in
I
line.
could
here.
really think of would be James Spader's Ultron. The
Yeah,
only other thing I could see.
but that was like, no offense to James Spader, I think he did a good job, but like that was the
That's
least
not a Luke
liked Avengers
Skywalker.
villain.
Yeah.
Thanos #1,
He could
Loki
have been
#2, Ultron.
4, even though there's no.
Well, actually, yeah, I guess you could add Iron Man to
Could have.
one of the villains. Civil War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Captain America. So Ultron drops down to 5.
Yeah. See, I'd heard rumors that he was going to be in. Was it Aaron Johnson Taylor?
Aaron Taylor
Uh,
Johnson.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. Yeah. I heard rumors that he was going to be in this. Now I know it was rumors that Evan Peters was going to be in, and but I was sort of like, oh yeah, he's going to be in it. So I don't know. I kind of hope he does turn up now, and that
Yeah.
line would just be immense. If he said that line,
That's
that
what I would say.
to be honest, I'm going to be disappointed now if that doesn't happen. Actually, that would be such a good line for him.
It was like
Yeah.
earlier we were talking about in the old episodes about if a commercial comes up that isn't Quicksilver, like we won't be impressed because I was hyping everyone up for the Quicksilver commercial. I hope this was better. Not that I had any part in it, but
What the Lagos? Yeah. I still think we might get a Quicksilver advert. It sort of makes sense, but we've gone past his sort of timeline, so to speak, haven't we? In terms of the way the adverts are being going, Lagos is
yeah.
after his death. So
But where we actually might see him might be in. I'm gonna not. Let me see. Yeah, episode 6 next week. Right? Yeah, 6. That's gonna be the
yeah,
Halloween episode, the '90s. So 7, 8, 9 are more than likely taking place in the noughties or in the early 2010s. So that was when Quicksilver of the MCU was active.
hmm
That kind of makes me think if he's going to be brought in, it'll be during those decades. So
Yeah,
last
Do you think?
1, 2, 3 episodes.
Do you think there's going to be an episode of what Wanda was doing when she got vanished at all?
Like for the blip?
Yeah.
Well, wasn't she just on Vision's corpse and then she got blipped? Or do you mean like what happened like during the 5 years?
Yeah. What happened during the 5?
I don't know.
Like,
I
what was in the mind or the soul realm or whatever?
I feel like they're going to leave that up in the air because I don't think they want to touch on the Infinity Stones as much anymore. Just because they want to move past it. I think it'd be like that'd be sick to like explore, and honestly,
Oh, yeah.
I think they should have. But it was really hard to do when they only had like those 2 movies to do it in and 50 characters to deal with.
Yep.
I think. I wonder if they're just gonna treat the blip from here on out like it was just kind of. Well, we kind of even saw it with Monica. Like, you were just here, you feel like you fell asleep, and you just woke up, and you're like, oh, like, what? Like, this is what's going on? Where's my mom? Where's everything that was just right here in front of me?
Yeah. I didn't mention this the other was it last week when we had that episode of it was, wasn't it, when Monica came back? Yeah. I'm not sure. I don't know if I mentioned it in the podcast last week, but been thinking about more and more. And in my gripe, I think I've mentioned before about my gripes of spoilers in trail and different things like that. But the more I thought about it, that would have been a great reveal of Monica if we never knew that Geraldine was Monica,
Yeah.
because we would have just seen. Because we've always known that Geraldine was Monica. So in the I don't know if she was in the first episode, but certainly the second episode,
Yeah.
and then the third, is it the third episode when she mentions Ultron, Now that would have been a massive moment. We would have all gone, "Why the fuck is this woman Geraldine talking about Ultron?"
Ultron, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Geraldine gets kicked out, and then the very next episode, we learn that it's not Geraldine, it's Monica Rambeau. How massive would that have been
Yeah.
as like a shock to people? And it just pissed me off again. I just think, why are you spoiling it for us? It just would have been an amazing sort of moment
Yeah.
in TV that, and yeah, but maybe it's just too hard for Marvel to keep all these secrets. Perhaps, I mean, we see with the Evan Peters thing, the chances are they've probably tried to keep that under wraps, and it's creeped out. You know what I mean? And maybe in this day and age, with social media, it's just too hard. So they do release things like that. But yeah, I just think, just I've just mulled over that all week, and it's just wound me up. But anyway, that's one of my gripes again. I've got off my chest now. I'm fine. Hopefully.
I mean, I'm
But, yeah.
honestly with that. Like, she's such a big character, especially more recently in the comics too. It just seems like why not waste the character, but just like could have had such an epic introduction.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, if you imagine we've gone from Geraldine being kicked out to the next episode, we see the blip, and we see Geraldine coming back a bit. You'd be like, why is Geraldine coming back from a blip from the blip? And then obviously then you would realize it's Monica. I just think that would have been amazing. But anyway,
She's like, my
I'll
mother,
stop.
Marie Rambeau, and everyone would be like, oh, you
Exactly.
mean Captain Marvel?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you everyone for tuning in this week to the podcast. We will be back next week 100% for episode 6, hopefully getting a lot deeper of a look into what's going on in Westview and maybe find out who Evan Peters really is.
Yeah.
Thanks again, guys.
See you
Hopefully.
next week.